Yo ho, a tearless life for me. Grab your hook hands and your cursed Aztec gold. We're gonna rate the characters from Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you're into this kind of thing. We're gonna try our best to just rate the characters off of what happens in the first movie, but I know that will fall apart by the end of all of this, and so it's just gonna be who we think is the best. We've got our rating system here. We're moving away from the normal system today. We've got Captain is the highest, Swashbuckler is the second, Hardies is number 3, Scurvy Dogs, we start getting a little more negative, Landlubber, you don't want to be that either, and then finally the characters we want to tell, the walk the plank. There are a million characters in this movie, and so I did do a little editing and cut it down to 20. So we're going to look at the 20 characters from the movie that I wanted to rate. If there's anybody I left off, let me know. Who is the character who you think is the best that's not on the tier list? All right, well, let's go ahead and start off with the number 1, right? This is one of the reasons why I want to just talk about this movie, because if we get the other ones in, it might affect the way that we look at Jack Sparrow. But if you just looked at the first movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, Jack is, pretty much like the perfect supporting character. He's got a ton of his own stuff going on, very funny, but he doesn't have to carry, the actual story. And so because of that, Jack Sparrow is going to be Captain. We're going to spoil this first movie. I'll avoid talking about the other ones too much. I say that, and then I know I will immediately spoil the second one when we get to our next person. But anyway, I remember being in the theater when this first movie came out, and when Jack steals the gold, and then he gets stabbed by Barbosa before he's like a skeleton and everything. I remember audibly hearing the gasps of all of the the moms in the audience who were super into how hot Jack Sparrow was in this movie. I remember he'd get stabbed and then and it was maybe one of the funniest things that's ever happened in a movie theater, including all of the comedies that I've seen, because they were they actually killed him. But not yet. They would, but not yet. So Captain Jack is obviously a captain on our tier list. But he's going to get passed immediately by an even better character, which is Captain Barbosa. What a good bad guy. And, they liked him so much, they pretty much bring him back for every single pirate movie, even though they definitively kill him in this one. You can just tell by watching this that Jeffrey Rush is having such a good time playing this character. He gets to be mean and nasty, which, is different than a lot of characters that he's played. So it's weird being introduced to him here and then seeing him play prim and proper people in the King's Speech and whatever. But anyway, he's just so awesome in this series. And like I said, I'm about to spoil the second one. At the end of the second one, when they're talking about how they want to go and bring Jack back to life, and you get the reveal of him, Captain Barbosa, coming down the steps. It's just one of the most exhilarating and exciting moments that I'd had in a movie theater, just seeing him come down, the music as it kicks in.
So tell me, what's become of my ship?
So good. So now we get to the actual main character of the movie, Will Turner. And as far as main characters go, he's not bad. He's good even. I'm gonna easily put him in the Hardies section, which would be a B on a normal tier list. He definitely becomes more conflicted and confusing as the series goes on, but when it comes to the first one, he really is the kind of moral compass of what people should do. And of course there's that little bit of destiny mixed in with how he's connected to everybody. Out of the two roles that Orlando Bloom is most known for playing, this one is easily the better role, this and Legolas. And so there's just really no reason why he shouldn't rate pretty high on the list. At least nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. He's a competent fighter, which is always good for your main character to not just be completely useless when the action starts up. And so, yeah, he's going to get to be in that B tier. He's a Hardy for sure. Now, I don't know if this is controversial, But I think Elizabeth is a better character than Will Turner. Again, especially in the first movie, she's all about getting stuff done. And though she is kidnapped, like, is continually trying to, like, foil the plans of the pirates. Keira Knightley has, like, a good presence, like, in all the scenes she in. She's just, like, oozing this kind of confidence that makes it so she doesn't seem to be just somebody who is pretending to be capable, but is actually a capable person. Some of her lines don't land that great for me. Like, pretty much anything that has to do with the corset, they bring it up a lot. But, it's something that I guess ladies can relate to. And so not every joke has to be for me, but she's definitely up there. She's a swashbuckler. Absolutely. Now, if we're rating characters just based on this first movie, we have to be really thinking about James Norrington, because in the second movie, you get the best Norrington out of all of them. By the time the third movie comes along, Disney does him dirty, and it's like not like a good at all the way his character goes out. Not fulfilling, not satisfying at all. Killed by like a tertiary character who has no emotional stakes in what they're doing. But if we're looking at the first movie, there's not a ton for him to do. He's kind of like a secondary villain, in like he's the romantic rival for Will, and continually after them to because they keep stealing boats that they shouldn't be stealing. But he is a fun foil again for Jack as well, because he completely underestimates Jack, but is shown over and over again that he is actually a legitimate pirate. But again, he doesn't do a ton in this one. Doesn't get the girl, but he is a good guy. Like, he isn't like, Elizabeth is going to go with him, now I'm going to kill him. He does get bitter like that by the second one, but that's when he becomes more interesting too. So just based on this first movie, I'm going to give him a C ranking. And he's going to be right up there with our next guy, Weatherby Swan, which is Elizabeth's dad. He's like a comic relief character completely in this. He's super fancy, and so it's fun to watch him get mixed up with these zombie pirates and everything, especially when their skeleton arms are crawling around all over the place. And he is he's a good dad, and so I don't want to put him really low on the list, but he doesn't bring a ton when it comes to everything. He does what he's supposed to do, but what he's supposed to do isn't very much, and so he's going to be in my scurvy dog. Now we come to the first of our two comedic duos of the film, though in this one they're not as funny as they come to be later in the series. I mean, they are funny, but they're not used for jokes. They are legitimately threatening at different scenes, especially early on, like that first attack on the city that the pirates do. So this is Patel and Riggetti. And Patel is the bald one, and Ragetti is the one that only has one eye. And Ragetti is also the guy who is in the British office. And so, do I like one of them more than the other? I'd say probably I like Patel a little bit more. He gets the line where he says, "I'm telling a story," which just always makes me laugh. And Patel has all the stuff with the eyeball. I'm going to put both of them up above Will. They're going to go in the swashbuckler below Elizabeth, but I think that's a good place for them to be. Next up, we got Murtogg and Mullroy, which are essentially the military versions of these guys, like the quote-unquote good guy dynamic duo. They're not as good, but they are funny. They get some good scenes where they're interacting with Jack. So I'm going to put them in the scurvy dog. Again, not a big difference between the two, but I do think that they both belong right there on the list. But we've got Cotton next, and Cotton can't talk. He has tongue cut out, but he does a lot of good face acting, a lot of funny reactions to everything, and I'm not going to be comfortable putting him any higher than right here in our scurvy dog section. You go there. But he's fun, but he's especially good because of the fact that he gets paired with his parrot, Mr. Cotton's parrot, which I am going to have as his own character. and he, has more lines and everything in the later movies, but I'm going to put him right above Mr. Cotton, because I think out of the two, he is the better character. And by that, I mean he makes me laugh more. And I'm also going to move these guys down to landlubber. I know that I didn't want to, but, and they get brought back into the series. They kind of disappear, but then show up later. And that's never good, But, I mean, it is nice to have job security that when they were just pumping out these. And again, because there's a good guy version and a bad guy version of almost every character in the movie, we have Jack the Monkey, which is the pet of Captain Barbosa, named the monkey after Jack Sparrow. And the monkey is fun, but he's just there for a couple little jokes. And as far as characters go, he's obviously not very complex. But as a pirate though, he does kind of switch sides a lot. So, I'm gonna put him down I will leave him here at Scurvy Dog. No, we'll go middle tier with that Scurvy Dog, because he does get that after credit stinger scene. Next up, I have a character that I only really put on the list because he has two of my favorite lines in the movie.
Speak when spoken to. Too long!
Which, for whatever reason, my brother and I thought were like funny things to say to each other. And we did slap each other quite a bit also. But where do we put him? Boson. I don't know if they even say his name in the movie, so I do apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But he's, I'm gonna put him down. He's gonna walk the plank. He's got two lines, but when it comes to being a character, he's just a bad guy to get. We are to another high-ranking character right here with Gibbs. Joshamee Gibbs is, you know what? I think I like Gibbs more than Jack. He's more consistent, at least. Whenever he shows up, I know that I'm going to have a good time. He has a great introduction and is, as far as a pirate goes, like pretty loyal, which is a fun thing to see. Really a stickler for the code. And so I'm really comfortable putting him up there in captain. I cannot remember if he ever actually gains that rank in the actual movies, but, if he didn't, he should have. Anamaria, played by Zoe Saldana, who is just in like every franchise. My volcano fell. But she kind of adds an interesting, little mix to everything, where she's, a lady, another lady in the movie, and she has a history with Jack that's not like a romantic one necessarily, but like he's took her boat and then her boat is gone. And so I think that I do like her, but I'm struggling to really remember how much she does. I think I'm going to feel good putting her there in Hardy's, though, because she is there at the end, again, ready to sail off with Jack, but then not showing up in any of the other pirate movies. I imagine that you could have really done some fun things with her. Jacoby is another character that I only put on the list because he has a line that my brother and I think is really funny.
No fair.
And so he's going to go down here with Walk the Plank too, because again, just somebody to fight. If this was a video game, he's the guy that throws bombs. So, I mean, like out of all the pirates, at least he has like a thing to fall back on. And so, but he's still going to go down here and Walk the Plank. Marty, I think Marty's going to separate Cotton's Parrot, and Cotton, he's, again, somebody who gets more to do in the other ones, like, at least actually character-wise, like, he gets more moments. In this one, he's the little guy, and, is that fair for him? No, but he does a good enough job where you remember him, and you're like, hey, I remember he was pretty funny. And so, yeah, Marty, absolutely, you can be there in what is essentially our C tier. And now we're left with the two ladies, Scarlett and Giselle, who are upset at Jack. Again, they aren't really characters. They have like one moment in the movie. I mean, they have the two moments in the movie. And I'm not going to feel comfortable putting them all the way at the bottom because, again, they're effective in what we want them to be. But that's where they're going to go. Yeah. that's it. That's our Pirates tier list. We got 20 characters in there, but maybe I left your favorite out. Who's your favorite like fourth tier character? Because there's a lot of people in this movie who get like 1 or 2 lines. Man, this first Pirates of the Caribbean movie is just really good. There's a reason they made 5 of them. It's because they're trying to make another first one. But let me know below, how bad is my ranking? How much do you hate it? Maybe it's perfect. If it's perfect, let me know too. I would love for you to let me know. Hey, Seth, perfect placement. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and getting to the end. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We've got new videos that come out every Saturday, plus extra ones, every once in a while with reviews and with what we've watched videos. And so thanks again. Have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday.